Hey guys, Deadset here. Reaper of Souls has been out for a week now and I've been maining Crusader, playing him almost exclusively and upgrading him further down the Fire Crusader path that I began from release. My current gear supports me for efficient Torment 3 farming and I plan to move on to Torment 4 and 5 within a week once I find certain suitable replacements for my chest, my pants and my boots. Some key changes have occurred in my skill selection to make Torment 3 a faster clear. I have switched from the safe shield glare with Divine Verdict to the pure offensive orientation of bombardment with impactful bombardment. Actually, an important drop dictated that switch more than anything, but I will return to that in a minute when I go over my gear. I remained faithful to my choice of Steed Charge with Nightmare Rune. Coolness factor of riding atop of a burning steed aside, it has proven to me time and time again that it does respectable damage for a mobility skill, and I can recognize the value of having a damage booster in the face of Laws of Valor with the critical rune, but it remains a personal choice. For me, I know that soloing, I find myself in need of a quick maneuver, some timely repositioning in fights, or a quick escape from crowd control, and I need it more often than I need a burst of damage potential, which I can rely on from other skills. I also maintain the use of Judgment with Resolved from my beginner build. It's an all-around skill that offers amazing 6-second crowd control on top of a damage booster for yourself and the entire party, which has the added bonus of shutting them up about you not being a buff machine meant only to support the wizards. I made a switch in the Akarat's champion department. I abandoned the burst potential of Firestarter, working with sweep attack for the utility of the rally rune. It has the beautiful effect of lowering your cooldown whenever you deal damage, which, considering the area of effect nature of our Wrathspender and the damage over time orientation of both sweep attack and nightmare, means that our otherwise long cooldowns will be up at least twice during a difficult fight. The goal is to alternate the use of Bombardment and Akarat's Champion to ensure that you have at least one of them off of cooldown whenever you encounter a champion pack. My passives are mostly unchanged. I stick with the Crusader signature passive Heavenly Strength. Wrathful, I consider this mandatory for your overall healing, especially with certain gear bonuses, which I'll get back to in a bit. Divine Fortress, which I use for the toughness boost since I have foregone survivability across many of my gear pieces in favor of damage stats, and Finery, which is an offensive gem in a pile of defensive passives. My choices for primary and secondary skills remain the same. Slash with Crush isn't mind-blowingly good, but let's face it, none of our generators are. I use it very rarely at this point since I am able to spam sweep attack with Blazing Sweep 90% of the time. And why is that? Let's get to the best part, the gear. The Golden Flance refunds more and more of my Wrath the bigger the pack against me is. If I strike 5 enemies, the Wrath cost is fully refunded, but even if the number isn't that big, it makes the Wrath spending so much slower and your damage output skyrockets. I alternate between this flail and opening fights against elites with the Mortal Drama in hand, which makes my impactful bombardments strike twice. I don't want to try to put it to words about the destruction that this causes, but you'll see it in the demonstration a bit later. It's a bit of a hassle to switch between the two weapons in a fight, but it's not some extraordinary feat either. There are just a few boring rare pieces left. A good chest armor roll, which I hope to replace with either a Khan's chest for the set bonus or a good cinder coat. The boots are also just good rolls all around with a nice sweep attack bonus on top. Please note that the health glow bonus is here and count the pieces that have it with me. This is the first. Boring but decently rolled pants. A fine trifectoring, again nothing super exciting stats wise. And a nice crit chance, crit damage and fire bonus amulet. Once again, health glow bonus, this is gear piece number 2. I wouldn't consider the Mempo especially exciting either, but hey, if you find one and you don't have an appropriate set helm, you'll use it, of course. Now the Akan shoulders, great strength, bombardment bonuses, and once again health globes. This is gear piece number 3. I already mentioned, but I would really like at least another piece of the set. We'll see which one I get in the coming days. The Mage Fist, very proud of this one. It's a fire skill user's wet dream, not much else to say about it. The Casterian Wrist Guard, I was hoping for a similarly rolled Warzetian Arm Guard, but nothing beats this one yet. A Leoric Signet, very decent stats, XP bonus is gravy, and once again, Health Glow bonus, gear piece number 4. A Fire Damage Lidless Wall, this one basically destroyed my previous toughness score, but it was all worth it for the offensive boost, and I'll make up the survivability elsewhere, in the pants or the boots, I hope. Please once again note the Health Glow bonus, this is slot number 5. And finally, my new favorite toy, the Harrington Waist Guard. Similarly to the Warzetian bracers that I mentioned before, this belt changes the way you play in a subtle yet significant way, basically boosting me to over 2 million sheet DPS whenever I open a chest, a weapon rack, or turn over a dead body. It turns me into a killing machine and makes me more creative in battle, constantly seeking out any container in the environment. This is exactly the type of legendary that makes me love Loot 2.0. Let's just quickly check my health glow bonuses. 104,000 healing bonus, which, working with my Wrath passive, means an additional 1000 life on hit without wasting a primary roll or Paragon points. It's not something stupidly overpowered, but it's very nice and noticeable in a fight. In my Paragon points, I maxed out movement speed, don't forget, only 10% with Heavenly Strength, and the rest I put in Strength, crit damage and crit chance in offense, and in defense, all resist and life percentage. In the utility, area damage and resource cost reduction. I use the Templar as companion, simply unrivaled in utility amongst his peers. I spec'd him fully into the left side of the skills, with just healing and regeneration. This is it for the build, now let's see it in action. My best results against elites are accomplished when I put down a judgment, rooting them in place and then bombarding them with the mortal drama in hand. Very few elites can withstand the burst and a few seconds of follow-up with sweep attack. Very rarely do they justify popping Akarat's champion as well. This only happens in group play and against extra health enemies. Please note that this bombardment rune isn't targeted and can be a bit unpredictable with the choice of enemy that it strikes, so if you want to lower the chances of a wasteful bombardment, clear as much trash as the situation allows before you drop the heavy hitters. The Harrington Waist Guard keeps me on the lookout for any sort of container in the game. Chests, armor or weapon racks, dead bodies, any of these will do. Note that this does not include destructibles, barrels, tables or ladders, only things that you can click and open for loot. The damage bonus is outrageous, you just saw it make short work of this elite. I probably pop Akarat's champion a bit needlessly here. I was trying to avoid an unlucky fallen maniac explosion, but note that you can afford to be a bit more wasteful of your transformation because of its shorter cooldown compared to Wrath of the Berserker or Archon. If you feel that you really wasted it, at least find the nearest pack of trash enemies and lay waste to them as you reset the rest of your cooldowns. If there's something this build and the Crusader overall does not excel at, it's chasing down enemies that run away. You will see me make an earnest attempt to catch all of these skeleton summoners, but I do fail at the Cursed Shrine event at wave number 3. You'll be surprised how often your heavy hitters are off of cooldown. The argument can be made that this build only performs really well when you have bombardment up for elites, but I feel that with the way the monster density works at the moment, you have just enough time to get the important skills back for when you need them. The timely use of Akarat's champion is key. If you manage to reset your bombardment during your alternate form, then you're doing just fine. You'll see me fight the Siegebreaker for the bounty. I guess this fight will take shorter with classes that don't rely on spaced out bursts, but I do it within a reasonable 2-minute limit. I hope you enjoyed the build and the progression update, and that you don't overlook the Crusader as a class not deserving your playtime. If you liked what you saw, I would appreciate your subscription to the YouTube channel, and I hope I'll see you on Twitch TV/the Deadset as well. That's all from me, and I'll see you guys next time.